it's a central leader tree and you want the laterals, make those heading cuts, then it gives you a more balanced crop load. Getting back to the question of doing my thinning through pruning, that's a great pruning cut to make.
And that's sort of what we do. We'll go through. We don't sort of have them on the side. We just take them off. It's just easy to tell the pruners to
Right,
prune
this
it
training
that way.
system that you don't even use those.
Yeah, so if I get 7, I just put 7 kilos of tree.
And see, I think we were talking yesterday around the use of thinners. I think when we're up in the shed, and you've had a little bit of experience with them. What do you, what do you think about thinning?
Where do we start? So,
Self-fertile varieties.
yeah, self-fertile, Lapin, Centennial, still growing Stella in places. There's one guy using ATS consistently, probably got 10 years experience with it, getting a very good result. We're chasing size all the time, I guess everybody is now, but export, we've only got export, we've got nothing else. So if we're sitting at 30 mil or better, we're in a good spot, and if we're growing 28 mil fruit, we're coming second. So we're running ATS 2 shots, doing it myself in our own block. Got brave enough to give it a go. Best thing I did. I'd rather have 8 tonne of big fruit than 20 tonne of 28 mil fruit, and there's just no future in small fruit. So yeah, we're just playing with it and getting happier with it. Yeah.
What kind of rates are you using, Earnscy?
I think it's... No, I shouldn't talk off the top of my head. I won't. I won't give it. It was 2 shots, so...
And when are you targeting that early bloom or the late bloom?
I'm waiting to about 50, something around there. Yeah, picking the weather, picking the bee activity, just this guy Pete Benny, I don't know if any of you met him, he's a hard case, a smart guy, a hard case, real rough nut. He's out his trees twice a day, like he's doing about 30-40 hectares, he's round every block twice a day, just round that bloom period to get his timing right. Got his crew set up to come in and just blast them. And I made the comment yesterday about getting some people to try it, and they told me it didn't work, yet in fact they had a bigger crop on the thin stuff than the other stuff. And you think about the carbohydrate petitioning and all that, and that competition at flower, they got the benefit of, all right, they got the fruit set. Maybe we should have gone harder with the thinning spray to get more off, but got the crop. So yeah, I think it's we're dealing with frost, -3s, -4s at that time of the year as well. So
that'll thin them.
Well, I'd rather do it myself. So it's a real conflict when you're doing it. You're watching the forecasting. Man, it could be a frost.
With those high rates of GA that you apply, you don't think that has a thinning effect?
No, we're not seeing that at all.
Yeah,
no.
right. Yeah.
No. I'm looking at trees at the moment. I can't believe the number of fruit buds on these uprights. Yeah. I'm going through there thinking, man, this is sure as hell. I'm pleased I'm using ATS. And that's after 2 years of pretty high rates. We're not seeing those buds disappear. No.
Yeah, we did a study when I was at WSU at Washington State, and went up to 100 parts per million, I think, GA, and we also were mixing it with maybe apogee, something else. I forget, but we never knocked the flowers back for the next year or the year after.
Yeah.
Yeah. The timing of it, I think, is important. When you're putting it on for fruit quality, you're not affecting flower bud formation near as much as if you put it on earlier.
Yeah.
That's when you really can affect the flower bud formation.
Yeah.
Earnscy, do you monitor the flowers per bud? Do you cut the buds and
Yeah, I
grow
do.
out of it?
I do informally, because we're always checking for frost damage, so you're in and out of them all the time. Like I was peeling stuff apart just the other day, tight as, still, we've barely moved.
Yeah.
Still looking, we've had a pretty tough winter. We had a lot of natural ice this winter, so that means we've had a pretty hard winter. So I've been in just seeing what's happened in there. There's no damage, doesn't look to be any damage. Yeah. So you casually would do it.
Greg,
And that's the holy grail, is if you could knock each flower bud back to only 2 flowers in that bud instead of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's when it's sweet.
Or even just realising that there is 3 or 4 and knowing in advance and enough time to do something about it, I guess, is the other part to that. But, yeah. Not very good, Fossey.
Any comments, Greg, on if, because this net's new, if we're going to see the same increase in vigour that we see under protective rain covers because of the black net, or?
So the main thing that the net is doing, it's probably not cutting out too much light, but it's cutting down the wind.
Mm.
So it will have some effect on the evapotranspiration. The more impermeable your cover, the more you're going to block the wind, the more you're going to reduce the evapotranspiration and such. So I don't think it's going to vary quite as much here as it might under a solid cover.
Mm.
We had cover down there a long time ago that was a lot finer, like had a lot more in it. But and you'd find on a misty, rainy day they'd turn into droplets and then drop, rather than having all day mist rain. The cherries didn't crack near as much as outside, because they turned into a droplet, not the mist that
Didn't
kept
keep them
getting-
continuously
yeah,
wet. It was
wet.
only if it dropped after.
Yeah, drop down and hit it. But we get the helicopter in, and we've got 3 fan sprayers that we go around.
How's
when
he
it's
going to go
raining.
here?
He'll do it, don't worry. He was going under the power lines, no worries. And it was like, that's a big helicopter, that thing, to go under the power lines. I mean, that was crazy. But yeah, no,
Top Gun.
yeah, no, you go straight under, didn't worry.
Catch the runners on the
Yeah.